Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Formula Racing League's Super Sprint Sunday, sponsored by Pure Sim Gear. We are here for round 2 at night at the legendary Laguna Seca circuit in California. My name is Gordon, the Captain Brown, and I am here to give you the commentary and bring you the action, as I will be for the next 7 weeks. Last week we had Bathurst. We're here again at Laguna Seca. Both circuits a little bit of sort of hollowed ground. One of the most famous corners in the world you will see on your screen just now. We'll see Rogers just navigating the corkscrew with that sudden drop, and that will be one of the focal points we are discussing this evening. So if you're new to this, if you're new to Formula Racing League Sundays, the way this works is, and again I'll just bring it up as I did last week, on the right hand side, the top right, we have the current practice session. Qualifying will take place at a slightly earlier time in server, at 9 o'clock in server time. 15 minutes for the drivers to go out and set their fastest laps, and where they start finish in qualifying is where they'll start the race. Race for both races. Race 1 will be a 20-minute sprint, flat out driving to the finish, and race 2 will be a 40-minute, slightly longer race. No mandatory pits, but the drivers will need to manage their tyres and fuel loads as they navigate the circuit at night. We will do our best to make sure we can see who is who. As we can see, the visibility is not great around this legendary circuit. We have no chance of rain tonight. The weather is completely dry as Rogers gets a little bit out wide coming through. One of the other tricky corners of this track actually is we'll just get rid of the track map on the screen and we'll watch Rogers navigate this track whilst we have a look at what happened last time out. So as I mentioned earlier on, the last race we had was at Bathurst, Mount Panorama in Australia. We're here now at Laguna Seca. So let's go through the finishing order and effectively the championship order of that race. Just bear with me, I'll find it out for you just this second. Right, I'm just going to take me a little bit longer to find out that, so we'll move on. So you're here every Sunday for Formula Racing League at 7:45. Race qualifying will start at 8 o'clock, race round about 20 past 8. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about how you can get involved. If this is something you want to maybe get yourself involved in, all the details can be found out by visiting www.thesimgrid.com. You can follow Formula Racing League there, and all the sort of sign up details will be present. You do not need any specialist equipment to take part. All you need is a copy of the game. The driver we're watching just now in question, El Prentice, does it not indeed have a steering wheel or anything like that. He plays using his controller, PlayStation 5 controller, and still manages to be one of the fastest drivers out there, as we can see, currently running in P2 in practice. One of the fastest drivers out there. It is free to take part. Like I said, it's www.thesimgrid.com, and follow Formula Racing League to take part in more information. If Sunday nights aren't great for you, we do have races organised, leagues organised on different nights. There's a car parked on the inside of turn 2 there, car number 9. We have races organised on different nights, leagues running throughout the week. Taco Tuesday takes part 8 o'clock, sorry, 8:30. Qualifying will start on Tuesdays, and on Thursdays we have a single make series. Start qualifying starting 10:30 at night on Thursdays, and that is the Ginetta Cup, the mighty Ginetta, one of the most fantastic cars you'll drive in this game. And that is on a Thursday evening as well, all times British time, of course, GMT. So now we've got that out of the way. Let's keep in mind as well that tonight is possible due to our partners at Pure Sound Gear, who sponsor this championship. So right now we're watching the order. We've got Iliev, who looked quick last time out, 777 Porsche. Looked pretty quick, like, yep, he's doing well, 123.280. Volton in the Ferrari again, looking very quick this time around in the 160 Ferrari. We've mentioned Prentice as well, running a little bit wide onto the marbles, a wide line through turn 1 there. Well, Jay Wazers just went into P1 as well, 10 milliseconds faster, it's a good lap. Ivanov, who will be looking to recover, I think, from last time out, had a bit of a disaster on the first couple of laps in race 1, so we'll see if they are able to build on that impressive qualifying pace last time out. Den Brave in the 34 Ferrari running the same livery as Volton. Daniel Naisbitt, who joined us in the commentary booth last time around in the Sky liveried 242 McLaren. Mihulka in the 979 Liqui BMW. Making his return to the Pro Series is Chris Knight in the yellow, pink and purple, the Porsche 51 car. Be exciting to see what they can do this time after being promoted from the AM Class Championship, which also runs concurrently with this race as well. There is another race running just now as well. Jay Prentice, brother of El Prentice, currently sitting in the pits in the green machine, the green Lamborghini. Van der Wall in the McLaren, as in Mornveg as well, possibly distracted by the cars coming out the pit lane. Rogers, one of the FRL admins, running in the 512 Lamborghini. Mulnix, who correctly pointed out my pronunciation of his name was wrong last week. I'll do my best to get that one correct, in the 41 Ferrari. Cuters in the running 15th in the number 12 Ferrari. A very popular livery this time around. That's going to cause some confusion. Good for the drivers though, as many bright coloured cars as we can possibly get in the field. G Harvey, looks like he's returning from an accident there. G Harvey in the 413 Ferrari. Daza T Townsend in the McLaren. Dybrail, who had a great race last time out as well, in the number 69 Lamborghini. Stoyanov 19th in that classic blue and red Ferrari. Clayton in the 500 car. De Vita in the 21 car, and Morgan Grace has just joined the server as well in the number 14 Ferrari. So lots of Ferraris, Lamborghinis and McLarens this time out, 2 Porsches and 1 BMW. So this will be interesting to see which one of these manufacturers also comes out on top. And we're still watching Grace navigate turn 1 there. And what we're going to do, we've got 13 minutes left of practice, so I'll keep an eye on some of the drivers. We'll have a little chat about some of them, see how they're getting on, and we'll also have a look at the championship order the second I'm able to navigate some grid myself and find the championship. So Chris Knight, let's have a little chat about Knight. Knight was running in the AM Class Championship, which, like I said, runs concurrently with this one. The AM Class drivers a little bit shorter on the pace side of things. We keep the pace of the drivers close together, so we all feel that we've got people to race against. As Knight has a bit of difficulty navigating the pit exit. Back on the track now. So Knight was running in the AM Class category. Last race out as well at Bathurst, and put in such a good performance that he has been moved up now into the Pro category. So that's good to see, and we'll keep an eye on how they fare this evening. And I do want to keep an eye on what Prentice in the 43 Porsche is able to. So the two Porsche drivers they've got on track just now. Sorry, two of the three Porsche drivers. We'll keep an eye on them. I want to keep an eye on Prentice as well, as we said earlier, is using a controller to navigate this track. And is looking mighty quick in doing so as well. So we'll keep an eye on these two drivers and sort of note down how they're getting on throughout the race. We now have 20 drivers on track. 20 drivers. That's looking particularly busy there as Prentice struggling to get past that car in front. That 69 numbered car. That's Dialbrell. Need to make sure there's not an accident here. It's still practice. We've got yellow flags up ahead. The 500 car. Clayton facing the way. We've got contact. That looked like potentially contact. A little bit of a spin around, and Prentice has parked the car and likely going to be returning to the pits yet. That's what we thought. So let's jump back on and see how Knight is getting on. Not too far behind. It will be very easy to pinpoint that car this evening with the colour scheme that it is running. That's a bit wild there. Just into the tyre well, so that'll be back to the pits for Knight. So the two cars we've picked out have had 2 visits to the gravel, so that's a good sign. Let's have a little look, see how Townsend's getting on just now. It is a particularly dark track at Laguna Seca Raceway. One of the interesting facts about Laguna Seca Raceway is it's actually noise limited. When you have a race here, the noise levels cannot exceed a certain amount of decibel level. And that's one of the interesting things about this track. Luckily on this game we don't have to deal with such restrictions, and these guys can sit and rev the engines until the cylinders dance on top of the bonnet, as racing should be. The Townsend done okay, steady I would say last time out. First time in the pro category as well. Currently in the 19th fastest time, but I would say 1.6 seconds off the pace in this server is no mean feat. We've got a green car there just taking it easy on the inside of the track, getting out of the way of Townsend. Crosses the sector time there into the final sector now through the corkscrew, and look at the drop they take. The drop the cars get through there, the compression on the spine, putting some chiropractors out of business here in California as Townsend loses the rear into the wall. That's a big shunt. He'll be porting himself back to the pit lane. So Miluka done a big favour for us in commentary last time out and gave us a lot to talk about in race 2 with the constant battling going on. Be very interested to see just what they're able to pull out off the bag in this 979 BMW. Of course, the only car out on track that was not released as one of the most recent cars. So it'll be very interesting to see how they're able to hold up. The Lamborghini, Ferrari, McLaren and Porsche all releasing new models out this year. BMW not. So we'll see how they go on. Just bear with me a little second. Hopefully I can bring this championship up. Nope. Having great difficulty finding out this order, so we will revisit that. If you're one of the many drivers who are participating tonight and elsewhere in Formula Racing League and FRL, one of the ways that obviously you all know that these races are free to enter, and the way we keep it that way is these servers, they do cost money to maintain, and one of the things we do, it's voluntary, we do have a Patreon account where you can donate. The smallest amount is only £3 a month, and for all that you get 3 championships organised for you, 3 leagues every season, and some fantastic off-season events. We have races live streamed and commentated on, like this one just now, and all of that can only be maintained with you guys' support. So please have a look at the Patreon section on FRL's Discord. Anything you can give is obviously much appreciated and does help keep the fun going. So hopefully somebody can come on chat and maybe help me out with the championship order, because I have apparently been disqualified from this championship and cannot look at the results. So we will need potentially some help with that one. Do my best to try and navigate onto the page. All I can view is the AM class championship order. Yeah, still the same thing. So that's fine, we'll move on from that. And we'll commentate on the action instead as we continue to watch this BMW fly around this track. Very good pace, only 2/10 between the top 7. That bodes well for an absolutely cracking qualifying session. So who else have we got? Jay Wazer's been looking very threatening. To come on board there, look at, this is the view the drivers will have tonight. It's a very dark track, but we have done a lot of practice. That Ferrari almost lost the rear coming through the third to last corner. Very tricky, and the braking markers have already gone. And that Ferrari looks wonderfully in control from Wazzer as Volton moves himself up into P4. Oh, is that Cuter's up to the 123 zeros now? As he's went deep into turn 1, gets the wheels on the gravel. So the fact we've got Cuters, Volton, and then Brave all in the same livery might cause a little bit of confusion. We've got 4 minutes left of the session, the practice session just now. Now, at this time you see there's a lot less cars out on track. And what happens is they're just tweaking the final stages of their setup. Little things like getting the tyre pressure spot on, calculating how much fuel to put in the car. Obviously every little extra litre of fuel you put in does slow you down. It takes more work to accelerate and decelerate the car. So they want to make sure they're not carrying too much fuel, but the last thing you want to do obviously is not to finish the race as you've run out of fuel on the last lap. To finish first you must finish. Ron Dennis, former McLaren CEO. So Chris Knight currently running 9th, only half a second off the pace of first. With a 413 McLaren facing the wrong way there. Obviously that of a spin from Harvey. As we see Knight barreling down this part of the track, this very technical corner. So easy to get wrong. Knight right on the limit of track limits. Yeah, bring it over to the left and brake as you go over the curb. The car gets so light. Knight putting in the laps, looking to impress. I mean, I don't think there was any issue with Knight moving into this class. He clearly has the speed. It's just if he can hook up the consistency to maintain this speed, and if he can, no doubt he'll be in the top end of the championship, which I'm sure someone again can come on tell me the championship order from SimGrid, and we can get that updated for you as well. Knight still running in P10, not able to improve that time around. Let's have a look at El Prentice. No, he's still in the pits. Who have we got out there still? J Prentice in the green machine. 678. That mint, he calls it his mint green baby. As he takes care of it, gently feeds the throttle on the exit of corners, and when he hits a curb, he makes a mess of his diaper. And turn 3 now, bit of a nothing corner, easy to get wrong and dip a wheel in the sand on the left hand side. That's an interesting thing as well about this track. It's not gravel on the side of the track, there is a bit of sand as well. Makes it very tricky to bring the car back onto the track if you're unable. If you just lose a little bit of traction and move it off the tracks. So we'll see how he manages in the Lambo. But I'll admit, it's taking the curbs very well. He's down in 15th, but he's only 1 second a lap off the pace. It's so close this year. Season 11. Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Sunday, and he is pushing this. This is the hot lap. He is all using every inch off the track and a little bit more. Hits the apex. Foot nothing else to do but put the foot down and cross the line. Does he improve? He doesn't. No improvement this time around. Iliev in the Porsche, only a quarter of a second off the pace. And this will be the last laps off practice now. Tricky corner, that one, that left-hander. Up the hill, climbing. Hard on the brakes, and you can hear the tyres screaming for mercy. He might have got away with that one. Has he cut the corner? The 979 car's off the track behind. That's Miluka. Got it wrong on the corner before. He's wide as well, but keeps it within track limits. Yep, it's still on a valid lap, but he's just lost it. We've moved camera and he has put it in the wall, so he won't improve any further. Van der Waal, is it time for Van der Waal to show their hand? Coming through into the final corner now. Just misses a little bit off the apex, that will not help. And across the line. And Van der Waal ended up still in 15th, so no improvement. Fastest lap time did not set a fastest sector, so there is room for improvement. The 242 of Dan Naisbitt is out first on the track, and now everyone's ready to go and they're out. 242.41. Thought it'd be a bit more of a race in the pit lane to get out, but they're all sort of feeding out now. There is, of course, one of the new rules in Formula Racing League is you are not allowed to overtake in qualifying. All the drivers have to be given a chance to get their lap in. It was less of an issue at Bathurst with a 2 minute and 1 second lap. Here, that may be a different conversation. The track is much smaller and you can already see the traffic on the lower right hand side of the track map. The amount of cars coming through turn 1 and 2 just now, that may cause an issue for Dan Naisbitt, who's only halfway around the track now. There's still cars in that pit lane. He comes into the corkscrew, drops down that second part of the track under the WeatherTech sign. Bit of a traffic jam appearing here. I've got Milnick's, and that looks like Prentice and Knight as well. Yeah, they'll need to be careful. Knight's off the track, coming out of the corkscrew there. Prentice is gathering a gap now, and what we're going to do is jump on board with Prentice here from his driver view. And let's come on board with Prentice as he takes a lap off Laguna Seca. So the starting straight isn't really straight. You come over to the right hand side and hard on the brakes. little bit of trail braking to get the rear to rotate the car. The apex very late on the second part of the corner. And it's the same again for turn 2, just drift it in, late apex, get the foot down. This corner, be careful not to dip your left front wheel into the gravel, and he's done so, so we'll come back to that and we'll get a view off the track as Prentice will attempt his second lap. We'll keep a look at that in about 2 minutes time. So the first couple of laps are going to be coming in very shortly. Dan Naisbitt into the corkscrew, does have enough time to get the lap done. Milnix has went invalid somewhere, as has Mornvig. Just in behind the 51 car of Knight is the next car behind Naisbitt, who will challenge for a time. Al Prentice still in the pits. Wonder what he's doing there. Are we looking for a gap? Potentially, as Naisbitt rounds the final corner, using the rumble strip efficiently, puts the foot down and comes across the line with a 1:23.7. There's room to improve for that one. Chris Knight next to cross the line and set a time, and they're going to start coming thick and fast shortly. Knight 2/10 down on Naisbitt. Warzer comes through now, and I'm going to look at the left hand side instead. It's going to be so much easier. Ivanov up into P3 now. Morgan Grace goes provisionally on pole position. The car number 12, yellow flag at the corkscrew. Grace, Naisbitt, Knight, Ivanov, Townsend sets a lap time, as does Den Brave. Let's jump on somebody else who's going to come through now. We've got the 442 of Mornvig. 777's about to set a time as well. 777, that's Iliev. Mornvig is not about to set a time. We're looking at the wrong car go wide. Prentice still in the pits. Wonder what's going on with that one. A lot of cars not setting a valid time on the first time around. Car 442 still in the gravel. Be careful when rejoining. He spun the wrong way. Car 34 needs to be careful as well. They get through absolutely fine. One of those yellow cars. He runs back to the pit lane. Smart move. Naisbitt's improved, as is Milnix. Milnix goes provisionally on pole. 1:23.317. Grace just in behind, 23 milliseconds. So it's close at the top. Ivanov now goes pole, and Grace improves again. Well, this is going to be a competitive session with times and lap times changing all the time as Prentice finally rejoins qualifying with 9 minutes left to go. Hopefully it's enough time to get temperature into his tyres to the optimum grip level. These Ferraris are looking particularly quick at WeatherTech Raceway here at Laguna Seca. As we watch Milnix now up into the corkscrew. How controlled is it through here? He is controlled, but you can tell it's fast. Sometimes that's the way it goes. The slower it looks, the faster it actually is. As Milnix now into the second to last corner. We'll see if he can improve again, because that last lap was an absolute scorcher. Clips on the apex, uses all off the track and a little bit more. That's the amount of track you need to use on the exit there. Milnix crosses the line, improves 65 milliseconds off pole position. The Prentice coming up to start a lap. Needs to be careful. Car behind's not on a valid lap, thankfully. So we'll come on board again on the front, on his dash cam, and we'll watch him cross the line, and we'll try this again. Take 2. Laguna Seca track guide on board with Luke Prentice. Hard on the brakes, bit of trail braking, takes it as a double apex. Clips the second one nicely, gets his foot in on the power. Same situation for turn 2. Late turn in, late apex. Just misses the apex there, a little bit shy. And let's see if he gets this turn 3 right this time, gets it turned in. No issues there. You don't want to put your left wheel on the gravel on the left hand side. Very hard to recover from that one. Early apex, turning early this time and let the camera off the road. drag the car round. A little bit of understeer building in Prentice that time around. This is a tricky one. Watch that curb on the inside. That sausage curb will send you straight into the Pacific Ocean. Over to the left and over to the right again, braking hard over the curbs. Good test of your braking prowess. And great driving through the corkscrew by Prentice. Patient on the throttle. This corner goes on forever. Hard on the brakes into the second to last. Trail it off. Come off the throttle as you hit the apex. And then a short straight now and a short braking zone. One of the tightest corners on the track. And all that's left to do is to put the foot down and go up through the gears to cross the line. And Prentice goes up into P5 with his hot lap, his first hot lap. He'll get some more laps. Just 7 minutes to go. We'll see where Prentice ends up. He's going again. He's definitely going again. So currently Ivanov's in first, Gray second, and Milnick's in third, Van der Waal fourth, but in the pits. The two Prentice brothers side by side, fifth and sixth. Mihulka in seventh, Naisbitt in eighth, and Wazzer ninth, and Clayton rounds off the top 10 so far. So let's have a look at Knight, who may have been held up there. I think Townsend got out of the way. But let's have a look at Knight. Let's come on board with Knight and see how he tackles this car. And uses a lot more of the off track on the way into turn one. Keeps one wheel within the white lines off the track, so the lap will still count. And a lot takes an earlier apex through turn two, all the way over the curb for the engines turn three. He's using all of the track that's available to him. Little change there as Luke Prentice has just went into P2. Less than a tenth of a gap to Ivanov. Knight now into the tricky left-hander and back end stepping out, but keeps it within the confines of the track. And over the curb, takes a lot of that section. Obviously feels very confident on the brake pedal. A little bit more track to be used on the left, but keeps him in good position for this long left-hander. And certainly looks to be driving a lot more aggressively than Prentice in the same car. And a little bit wide, is that going to be invalid? I think he's still going for it, so it looks like it's still a valid lap. And he now, like I said, comes through the gears. Nothing more to do but cross the line, and Knight improves up into P6. That's a good lap from Knight. Prentice is absolutely flying out there. The 43 car is putting on a show. Now got a car in front of them. That's the 44 off Ivanov. So that's first and second in qualifying, both together on track. Through the final corner. Again, he's just shy with that apex. Bit more off the curb on the exit. We'll be getting a slight toe. No improvement this time around. Grace now as well coming through. We've got 4 minutes of qualifying left. This is sort of the time that you'd maybe go into the pits and get yourself a new set of tyres for one last gasp attempt. As the helicopter now picks up Milnick's in the 41 Ferrari. You see it nails the apex. No issue with that one as well either. Up the hill now, and the helicopter will completely devalue this corner. But you look at this, the gradient off that slope. The car gets so light at the top and under so much compression at the bottom. And he nails that apex spot on as well. Milnick's doing a fantastic job so far. Into the final corner. Can he make this one stick? No one around him on the track. He's somehow found a lot of clear space. Can he improve? He's 4 tenths down. He's in 5th. He's still in 5th. No improvement there. Dybrell coming across the line in the K-Pax. Lamborghini. Does he improve his time? Nothing, just does improve his time, but no movement. Dan Naisbitt's went off at the corkscrew, yellow flags waving. Now he's sitting parked there at the side of the road. I mean, he's not in anyone's way, but that yellow flag. Number 12 coming round now as well, and he lets them all go through. He's got a little bit of a gap. He'll get that car turned around. He doesn't have time to go back to the pits. He'll need to get that car through. But he's found himself in a bit of a good position. Townsend coming up behind, hopefully not getting held up by the recovering Naisbitt. 4-4-2, everyone's now out on track apart from Stoyanov, who's sitting in the pit lane with 2 minutes to go. That implies to me that Stoyanov will not be finishing up any higher. What's going on down at turn 1? De Vita was yellow flagged, as was Milnick's. Car 32, gee, Wazzer, looked like they were off the track. Yes, he's off the track. What's happened there? So we've got about 30 seconds left for drivers to start a new lap. Car number 69 is going to get the chance to do so. That's Dialbrail who starts a lap. As does car 44, which is Ivanov. I take that back, they're going to have plenty of time. So don't have too long left of this session. Looks like we've got a couple of drivers who will not be going any further in the qualifying session. Currently in the pit lane. Got Prentice, Grace, Clayton, Cuters, De Vita, Townsend and Stoyanov. They will finish no higher than where they currently are on the grid. As we're just watching car number 69, yellow flags out at turn 1. And the final turn as well, so that's Naisbitt. Naisbitt's will finish no higher than 4th. Ivanov's out there, but he has got a car in front of him. Don't think he'll be able to improve too much. Milnick's is the only one who can dethrone P1 and is not able to improve. He's there. One more chance to improve on that time. Dialbrail is able to start one more lap. 15 seconds left for drivers to get on their final lap. 777's ran it wide. Can they get round and cross the line? 4, 3, 2, just makes it in. So that is it. That's qualifying. Whatever lap you're on now, that is it. You have to finish that lap, and that is the best you will do. So Van der Waal comes round the final corner, uses all of the available track space up through the gears, and comes across the line. Does not improve. Jay Prentice through the final corner as well. Looks to have it under control. Currently P7. Can they move up any higher than that? Does improve. Goes up into P4 to ruin Dan Naisbitt's evening. Mornveg not able to improve. And we have one more car on track. That is Iliev in the Porsche. And we'll stick with them for the final part of qualifying as they come up to the corkscrew. In the other Porsche, the third Porsche we're yet to cover, makes both apexes. It looks tidy. We don't know if it's particularly fast, but he's hitting all the apexes. Into the second to last now. It looks a bit fast. Understeer through the corner. Keeps it within the confines of the track. Gets it turned into the final turn. And he's went wide. He's invalidated his lap on the final corner. And that is the end of qualifying. And I think we have been joined by car number 43, Luke Prentice.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Box. You're welcome. One of the things I noticed watching you there is you made a bit of an accident on your first lap. What happened there?
The dog wanted a wee, long and short of it. He was giving me the eyes and making the noises, and I figured I'd let him out whilst we had quite a lot of time left, and I wasn't
Look at
I
that.
didn't feel great in the first sector anyway, so I just thought I'd bail and let him go, and then just have about 5 or 6 laps just running at the end.
What a man, a gentleman. So, second place. How do you feel with that? I mean, I thought you done really well,
I think
personally,
I
but
did well. I think there was probably a run at pole in there, but I don't think anyone aside from the pole sitter can say that they've had the perfect lap, because this race is so hard even in the daytime to have a really really good solid lap because
yeah.
of how it is. It feels really really low grip. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I know I've got safety behind me with my brother, so see if we can make some moves on that one and see if we can see if we can make any progress.
Yeah, it'd be good to see. I mean, this was wide open tonight with Adam Lang not making the race. So I think everyone's got a shot. Anyone down to, I think, 11th or 12th, possibly, given what happens, has got a chance for race 1. Race 2 will be a bit more different. How does this track differ at night time compared to daytime? What's the worst? What's the biggest change?
I think the biggest change is trying to spot exactly where those big sausage curbs are. I think that's the key to it, because in the daytime it's a lot easier to sort of spot them from like when you are turning in and before you turn in, so it's a bit easier to aim away from them. Whereas in the night time, it's a little bit trickier because you can't really see them when you are turning in. So you've just got to hope that you get that turn in right. Sometimes it's slightly better to go just a little bit wider than you would normally, and then sort of turn back to square the corner off. But that's really the key difference. It's different. It's unlike anywhere else that we go for that, with the exception of possibly Monza and possibly Imola. With here it's at every corner as well, aside from the corkscrew. So it's something to watch out for all the way around the lap, and it will catch a few people out.
Yeah, for me, it's not the corkscrew. It's the corner before the corkscrew that gets people. That sausage curb on the inside can ruin a race.
And after it as well, the left-hander down the hill.
Yep, very easy, especially if you run too wide. You get that tyre on the gravel, that's it. Okay, I'll let you go. You've got 2.5 minutes to get your setup all sorted for the race. I'll let you go, and we'll hopefully speak to you again after race 2 and see how you got on. Thanks for joining us.
Take it easy.
Good luck. Take care. So that was Prentice there. You can see him in his car, just getting prepared now. We'll let him go. He's got a very important race start ahead of him. We have a field of 22 cars, and let's just run through the grid at the end of qualifying. So we have Ivanov in pole position. Go do it this way instead. Yep, Ivanov in pole position. Prentice in P2. Grace is in 3rd place. Jay Prentice behind his brother in P4. Dan Naisbitt, who struggled to get a couple of laps together, in 5th. Mulnick's in 6th. Clayton in 7th. Van der Waal in 8th. Great debut in Pro Class for Chris Knight in the 51 Porsche, and Volton rounds off the top 10. Miulka in the BMW is in 11th. Cuters 12th. De Vita in 13th. Wazzer in 14th. Rogers 15th. Mornveg 16th. Harvey in 17th. Den Brave 18th. Iliev 19th. And Dybril in 20th. Townsend in 21st. And Stoyanov rounds off the grid for this race at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. And I'm going to take a quick 30-second break just to get a drink so I can call this action for you.
Seconds. 20 seconds.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you for holding on there. We've got 15 seconds left before Ivanov will get us away for the formation lap. All the drivers' lights coming on now. Any drivers not pushing, ready to drive, as you can see flashing on the top left of the corner, will start from the pit lane. And we're all taking the start, so all 22 cars ready to take the start. And I can see a couple of you guys popping up in the chat. Thanks for commenting. And that's D Townsend, P21, and C Knight in 9th. So we've had qualifying done. We have got the cobwebs shaken after getting through round 1 of Super Sunday Sprint, sponsored by Pure Sim Gear here at FRL. Everyone's had a chance to get used off their cars for season 11. We've had 3 races so far at Bathurst and Sprint Sundays, Taco Tuesday and Late Night Thursday. So everyone is now ready to go racing. Ivanov is going a particularly quick pace for the formation lap. Weaving the tyres, getting ready, getting up to temperature, 17 degrees air temperature, 17 degrees track temperature. So quite a cool race by normal standards here at Laguna Seca. Still not too cold. Hopefully they're able to keep the temperatures in their tyres. One person to look out for coming through the field is Grace in 3rd. We'll be looking to see if they can challenge very quick driver on their day. Dan Naisbitt done well last time out with 2 second places at Bathurst. Milnick's had a bit of a nightmare in the wall both races. Less walls here. We'll see if they're able to improve. We know they're a particularly quick driver when they want to be as well. Clayton van der Wal. Knight is absolutely rapid, a little bit late joining in their grid position, but we know they can drive fast as well. We'll see if they can keep it together for the consistency. We've got a lot of cars now just looking to take positions ready for the start, as Ivanov will begin to back them up in a couple of corners time. Rogers, one of FRL's admins, along with Dan Naisbitt and Chris Gavin, who cannot be here this evening, all do a great job. We'll give them a quick shout out before we get underway as we come through into the second to last corner. We've got all the, look at this here, there's a bit of a bunge up. Hopefully they can sort that out as they come through the next couple of corners. It's easier to see the cars in the lights. We've got Grace there, so let's look. We've got Ivanov there in the black and purple, alongside Prentice in the burnt orange, white and black Porsche, and behind them Grace and Jay Prentice, and on the 3rd row Prentice and Milnick's. We'll see how they get on into turn 1 as we await the green flag for round 2 of Super Sprint Sunday at Formula Racing League is nearly about to go, and we are green, we are go. Race is underway. It's a good start from Ivanov. Ivanov's got the start and they're so close to touching. 3 abreast further behind. Naisbitt's down the inside, thinks about it. Potentially up into P4, but they all kind of keep it together so far. Naisbitt's on the curb, and Prentice has lost the rear and hits the back, and we've got cars off Prentice in the wall, as is Grace. Milnick's is sideways and makes further contact. There's a huge pile up on turn 2. Cars hitting each other left, right and centre. We'll need to pick up who's been involved. Car number 14 as well, that's Grace, Milnick's, Knight, and the cars, oh dear me, the absolute carnage, as we'll try and pick up the leader very shortly. Ivanov is out in front. Luke Prentice has managed to escape all of that as well, and it all started a little bit further back. Naisbitt's found himself in P3. Volton and Cooters, no, that's not Cooters, we don't know who that is, but it's a attempted move. That's not a place where moves can be made. Need to be careful through there. And it's very hard to see who is who in the dark. We can see Prentice up there in 12th. Ivanov still out there in front. Luke Prentice is not letting him out of his sight, so we'll see if the consistency can continue. Car 51, Chris Knight is in the pit lane. Maybe that's it already for the young rookie. Naisbitt's in 3rd with the fastest lap of the race so far. And what a start we've had. Potentially controversial. There may be some time in the stewards room yet as we jump on board with Clayton under pressure from the 69 car. Nothing doing this time around, but he's going to go deep into that corner. And we've got information from Knight, who claims he was hit from the rear from up into P3 after a good start, so we'll need to maybe review that one at a later time. But the drivers have now got through the first lap, or most of them have anyway. Grace is continuing with some light damage. Iliev, J. Prentice, Volton and Townsend all in the pits. Townsend, turn 1 madness, completely agree. Turn 1 and 2, absolute carnage unfolding. As we'll maybe see from the stewards what happened at the race start. But at this time, Ivanov leads the pack round the end of the second lap. Prentice is in second place. A lapped car in front of us, exiting the pit lane. That's Jay Prentice. So see if there's any. I think he's a little bit too far behind to show any brotherly love and help out his brother with that one. So still half a second between the front two. Dan Naisbitt a little bit out there on his own. We've got a stop-go penalty for car number 12. That's Cuters, who's now leaving the pit lane. That will be speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately for them, as their race goes from bad to worse. And we have had absolute chaos here at the start of round 2 Super Sunday Sprints Pro Class at FRL. And if you've just missed the start of this, there was about a 6-car pile up at the start. I think the cars involved were Naisbitt, Grace, Malnix, Cuters, Jay Prentice, Townsend, Iliev, Volton and Knight. We'll need to obviously get a bit more information to what happened. But that is the order just now as we watch Miluka applying the pressure to the back of them Brave. It's a cracking start up into 5th. Ivanov and Prentice leading the field away. And know just how fast these guys can be. We've got another car. That's the 160 car of Volton. Volton receiving a drive-through penalty. Not going too well for some of the cars through here. Mornveg just overtaking a Ferrari, the Ferrari Stoyanov. No, there's a car there going in the pits. That's De Vita. Nope. Somebody jumped in the pits there. Car 51. Stop goes all over the place. Malnix picked up a stop go penalty as well. It's not been a great start to the season for Malnix. They are very quick. And it's just not materialised for them. Grace fighting the way back through the pack. Morgan Grace all over the back of Rogers now. The helicopter picking them up as they come round the back of the circuit. Not really an area known for overtaking. And Rogers a little bit wide. Up to come to the corkscrew now. This corner you can overtake on this. You get your braking right. Stop go cleared for car number 12. And what sort of action we've had so far. Everyone now just appears to have settled into a little bit more of a rhythm. Some guys choosing to pit at the start, but Grace persevering with the damage as Malnix, I think that is there behind, jumping into the pit lane to serve that drive through. Grace eager to get past on the straight now. Down the inside, thinks about it this time, lines him up on the brakes, picks the braking point and takes Rogers. Rogers, I think, maybe knowing this is not his battle this evening, thinks twice of it. So Clayton's not one that I've seen too much of in FRL. So let's jump on board here. Let's see how they're able to get on. To come up now through into the corkscrew. On the bumper cam, there we go. Yep, he's nailing all his apexes now. There's a little bit of clean there. The drivers begin to settle into a rhythm. We'll let the stewards, unfortunately, who will be very busy late into the night here tonight, or into the afternoon or morning, wherever you are watching from in the world. Thank you for joining us here at Formula Racing League Race Hub on YouTube. As we are now nearly halfway through race 1. As we watch Clayton, I'm on board of Clayton. Looks to be driving particular reasonably well. We've got a little bit of a gap in front of us to Miluka. He's under pressure from G. Harvey, who is a bit quite experienced. I've seen them before racing, I've raced with them. Good driver, know what they're doing. Very quick. This of course is the pro category as well. This is the fastest drivers who have entered into the Sunday Sprint Championship. As De Vita, I think further down the field, has made their way past Rogers. Where is Rogers? Rogers 6 seconds down, maybe made a little bit of a mistake. Rogers down in 13th, a little bit of a mistake. I think Knight has rejoined the race, thankfully. Has rejoined, so that'll be good for them to get the 413s off the track. That's G. Harvey, we've just missed that. G. Harvey spinning round in the corkscrew. Be careful on the rejoin, and G. Harvey, I think, is doing some premature donuts. Be careful on the way round there, guys. We watch that rejoin. And he is now behind car number 64, I think it is. Oh, what's going on there? What is going on with Harvey? He's all over the place. He's had a bit of a nightmare coming through the corkscrew. I think he is now down in 20th position. We'll see as he crosses the line what position they're in. No, he's still in 15th. That's fine. He's got a bit more space. He's got about half a lap to the car behind, but this is where it's now going to get a little bit interesting because Ivanov. What's happened? There's been a change at the front. Ivanov's maybe made a mistake. And you're coming through the lapped cars. Prentice up into first place. Naisbitt's in second, and Ivanov shows just behind him, but I think he's a bit further behind, to be honest. So that's maybe an issue coming through the lapped cars. One of the issues here, of course, is very difficult to overtake around this track unless you've got a clear pace advantage. And Prentice now takes the lead, 2 second gap to Dan Naisbitt. They're in the same straight. And Ivanov as well, down in fourth. So Ivanov's had a bit of an issue there. I wonder what's happened. We'll stick with that one just now. But Ivanov off track potentially. Wazer's now into third. Prentice first, Naisbitt second, Wazer third, Ivanov fourth, as we just passed the halfway point. Then Brave not letting them out at his sight, but these two are so close on track now. Ivanov currently set the fastest lap, keen to get himself back out into third and recover. Slow moving, Dan Naisbitt in front. Dan Naisbitt's made a mistake. And the corkscrew, Ivanov slows it down the inside, and there's slight contact that forces Naisbitt across the gravel. Naisbitt retains position. Ivanov fourth, Naisbitt down to third. Jay Wazer up into P2. Action still happening throughout the field. And this one, you feel, could go any way, but our featured driver for this evening, El Prentice, up into P1 and leading. Now with a 3 second gap over Wazer as Ivanov laps the yellow Ferrari in behind. And this is what happens when you have a lap 1 incident. And there's a car going straight on. Car number 12, Q-Touch, just went straight on at turn 1. Be careful on the rejoin. As things are slowly beginning to settle down, Ivanov's rear tyres were screaming for help. Car number 51 off track as well. That's Chris Knight had an incident there as well. Be careful on the rejoin as Prentice goes past. What action we've had so far. So to recap now, we've got Prentice out in front, Jay Wazzer in the 32 Ferrari in second, the 242 Sky Car of Daniel Naisbitt in third, Ivanov down to fourth. Don't know quite what happened. We've got a close gap a little bit further back there as well. Rogers defending hard, it looks like, or was defending on Diabril, but potentially a mistake there as well, separating the pack. So we've got a couple of cars still battling their way through there. Iliev, Milnik, Scooters, Volton, all recovering from the turn one chaos that had ensued at the start of the race. Prentice and Naisbitt actually dipping the wheel. Shouldn't cost them too much time. And the car ahead also dipping the wheel. Who have we got in front? Is that Wazzer? Jay Wazzer, yep. In the Ferrari. All these small mistakes allowing Prentice to just creep away ahead. Gap now nearly 4 seconds. As put in any context, Prentice through the corkscrew now. And there's Wazzer through the corkscrew. And we've got Chris Knight there as well, in between the second and first. A car off the track, the 413 car. Who is that? The 413 of G. Harvey off track there as well. Just missed exactly where that was. 4.2 seconds a gap between first and second, 1.1 between second and third, and Dan Naisbitt holds a half-second gap, although it looks a lot less now as they come through turn one. Car 51 looking to rejoin. That's Chris Knight, and potential. Oh, that will have cost Ivanov. Ivanov hampered by the rejoin of Knight, and Ivanov now rejoining in front of another car, and it's just all gone from bad to worse for Ivanov. Have to admit that one might not have been too much his fault there. Milnik's off track again and doing again some premature donuts. He's just sitting there, needs to be careful for his rejoin as well. It's the tricky part of the corner, tricky part of the track. Who's behind there? That is a very fast looking Morgan Grace, as Milnik lets him go. It's good driving, good awareness from Milnik there, good racecraft. 777 car gets past the car there as well. That's Iliev. So let's rejoin there. We've got Maluka on the back of Den Brave, who again has just kept in touch. Great drive from Den Brave, very consistent showing so far. We'll keep an eye on Ivanov on the back of Clayton. That 442 car sitting yellow flags. That's Mornvig. Mornvig's had a spin as well. What's happened to Mornvig? In front of 21. No position change. No position change there. So just under 4 minutes left. We've got Prentice out in front with nearly a 5.5 second gap. And as far as it goes so far, the man has driven a fantastic race. Jay Wazzer's found, I said at the top of the show, they were looking very quick in practice. And that's materialised so far into a current second place. Naisbitt has found himself in third place, on the back of Wazzer. Then Brave fourth. Miluka, as we're watching just now, keep in touch with them Brave. Clayton in sixth and Ivanov recovering. Why is he flashing? Why is Miluka flashing there? There's no one in front of him. You need to be careful with that. Don't want to get yourself picked up for any penalties. You need to be careful with that one. So, right. Where do we begin? Because we've only got a couple of minutes left and we're watching what I think is the closest battle on track left. Ivanov as well is applying the pressure just a little bit further behind. You see it there. Clayton under pressure from Ivanov. You look from the rear wing of Clayton and we'll see just what Clayton's made of. Because Ivanov, the fastest driver on track according to lap time anyway. And you see the difference under braking. We've got a lot of cars up ahead now. We've got somebody just off track. Is that Milnick's? No, it's Wazzer. Is that Wazzer? That was Wazzer. Wazzer's been off track at the corkscrew. And that's given... And he's off track again. He's spun. He needs to be careful on the rejoin, but that's a lot of positions lost. So we'll see how that happens. Naisbitt's up into P2. Then Brave up into the podium positions. Miluka up into fourth now. Clayton fifth. Ivanov sixth. And Wazzer's down in seventh. That very costly mistake in Grace, who was involved in the turn one chaos, has battled their way through bravely up into eighth and potentially up into seventh as well. It's a great performance from Grace. Ivanov now looking to apply the pressure to Clayton. Oh, no, Clayton's pulled away a little bit. So 54 seconds to go. That's a great camera angle through the corkscrew. You really see the direction change as they go through there. Car 6, 7, 8. That is Jay Prentice. This other spin just before the corkscrew and they're off track. We'll see how that impacts them. They're coming through the final corner now to start the final lap of race 1 is El Prentice. This race will be a 14 lap race this evening. All Prentice has to do is keep the car moving in the same direction, because behind him there is a plethora of chaos. 413, that's G Harvey having a spin again, and now in the pit lane, so they will not finish the race, it looks like. Then Brave is the one who is under pressure because Miluka is not letting this go, and he is applying the pressure. He is on the rear wing and not letting go. Clayton just in behind as well, and Wazzer's applying the pressure to Ivanov. There were a couple of tenths between those guys. We'll rejoin this in a couple of seconds, as Miluka is under pressure as well from Clayton, but it's Prentice who has driven superbly in race 1 after starting from second into the final corner. Now one lap car in front of them will let them take the... Is he going to let him take the checker flag? No, he's going to get himself one more lap of racing, but it's Prentice who comes across the line to take the win for race 1 of round 2 Super Sprint Sunday, sponsored by Pure Sim Gear. Great performance by Prentice. Dan Naisbitt will take P2, another second place for him. Then Brave takes a fantastic podium in third. Miluka fourth. Ivanov comes through in fifth ahead of Wazzer and Clayton. What happened to Clayton at the end? Grace battles back 28 milliseconds off 7th and 8th place. Mornvig who had a little spin a couple of laps ago, is going to come through in P9 as it stands. And we've got a couple of the cars, a gaggle of cars coming through just behind Mornveg. Mornveg takes 9th, DeVita 10th, Rogers in 11th, Dialbrill in 12th. Close racing from those guys. Van der Waal now coming through to take 13th place across the line. Stoyanov is going to take 14th. We've got Malnux, Kutas and Volton lapped cars already crossed the line as well. Stoyanov crosses the line. And Iliev is going to be the last of the running finishers, I think, and going to take 17th. What a race we've had for race 1. As everyone's now in the pit lane. What a race we've had there. And let's see if we can just recover what we can see on stream. So the last couple of laps we had an issue. See if we have time to see it this time. Sure, it was Wazzer. So what happened to Wazzer? A couple of laps from the end. We'll see if we can pick up exactly where we went wrong. He looked a little bit sideways there coming through the corkscrew. It was in that kind of section as well, the back of the track. There it is there. There's where we lost it. So let's see what happened there. So we're on board. This is the driver view. We're on board with Jay Wazzer. Looks fine coming through that section. Got Naismith just behind him a bit of second. Into the corkscrew. Maybe got his braking a little bit wrong. Oh, he's went light over the curb and that sent him into a spin. And he's lost a couple of positions, it looks like. So let's see that from a different view. Comes over the corkscrew. Yeah, he's slightly wider line and lost it over the crest, and that sent him into a spin. Naismith goes through. That's him now in third. There goes some other cars. Fourth, fifth, sixth, and potentially seventh by the next corner as well. So that's what happened to Jay Wazzer. And I may have to exit the server and return, as I can't exit the replay. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, thought I lost it there, but no, we're back. We are back. So as we await the start of round 2, sorry, race 2 of round 2. We've got a little bit of an update there. Chris Knight was up into P3, claims he was shunted from behind, and he can't believe it. It's a fair sentiment given that fantastic start. We didn't quite catch exactly what happened, so potentially some stewards' inquiries for later on to be sorted out by the stewards. And D Townsend went from 21st on the grid up into 16th. With a stop for damage after being involved in turn 2 as well. So that's a great performance from Townsend. Speaking of great performances, we've got El Prentice out there taking the win for race 1 after starting in second. Ivanov had a little bit of an issue. We don't know exactly what happened. Maybe we can get a bit of feedback from that. And Morgan Grace finishing in 8th place, but only 28 milliseconds behind Clayton. Very close. That one will have ended up as well. Agonising for Grace. So let's take a little chat about Formula Racing League. These races are, of course, free to enter. They're free entry, and to get involved, you need to give them a follow on www.thesimgrid.com. All their details are there, how to join and take part in Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Sunday. We've also got the Taco Tuesday series that happens at 8:30 British time on a Tuesday evening, using the same circuits as we use for Super Sprint Sunday. And then we also have the single make race off the Ginetta, the mighty Ginetta, which takes place also around the same circuits used as Taco Tuesday and Super Sprint Sundays. It is free to enter, like we said. Have a look on simgrid.com, join FRL's Discord, and all the information will be available for you on that. It takes no longer than 5 minutes to get yourself signed up. And another thing I want to quickly just point out is obviously it is free to enter, but these servers do cost money to rent and to maintain. And if you are taking part tonight, it might be worth please just considering potentially becoming a Patreon supporter of Formula Racing League. You do guarantee your entrance into all of these races. You get early access before they fill up. And you will also get yourself a fully customised picture for your Discord profile, which you can use for your streams, for your overlays, anything of that like as well. It is only £3 a month. That is no more expensive than the price of your regular premium Seattle-based coffee company coffee. Forgo that one day, give yourself a cup of instant coffee, and you can then afford to support these guys and everything they do. They do it off their own backs. They don't see the profit. It goes straight into maintaining the servers and making sure they have everything set up for you guys. It is, again, off their own time, so any support you can give is appreciated. And I am now going to take this time to have a small break, get myself a small drink, and recharge my vocal cords for the start of race 2. So hold on, I will be back in about 30 seconds. Thank you.
Seconds. 20 seconds.
Okay, I am back and I am ready to bring to you race 2, round 2. Formula Racing League Super Sprint Sunday, sponsored by Pure Sim Gear. We are here at Laguna Seca for the start of race 2. It's slightly cooler than race 1, and we have double the distance to go. 40 minutes of high octane rev pulsating action as Ivanov gets us underway for the start. Of the formation lap. El Prentice is in second, and we revert to the qualifying positions at the end of qualifying, so Grace is going to have another chance to make good on third. J. Prentice in fourth. See if they can show a little bit of brotherly love and support his brother down into turn 1. Dan Naisbitt will be looking to have a similar start down the inside and take multiple positions, driving like he's just picked up a power star in Mario Kart. Mulnix in 6th. 3 races this season, 3 incidents, hopefully able to get through this time around and make it to the end of lap 1 without being involved in an accident. Clayton in 7th, Van der Waal 8th. Same goes for Chris Knight. He'll be looking for a cleaner start this time around just to showcase their pace after being promoted from AM class. Volton starts in 10th, Mioka 11th, Cuters in 12th in the same livery as Volton. De Vita behind them in the green Ferrari. And 13th, Rogers will be in 14th place. Wazzer, who had a cracking start. Wow. Jay Wazzer went from 15th all the way up to 3rd and 2nd in that last race. Mornveg in 16th. Then Brave 17th, Harvey 18th. We'll see if Harvey can keep it together this time as well and see what they can do, because they are a fast driver. And Rogers has spun. Rogers had a spin at the corkscrew on the formation lap. Hopefully they can get back to their grid slot. Yes, we seen you, Rogers. Unfortunately, we caught you. You're not getting away with that one. Iliev 19th, Dybrell 20th. Townsend looking to go from back to front again. Stoyanov in 22nd, and a late joiner to the server starting from the back. We have Danilo in the number 7 McLaren. Ivanov is now backed up the pack. Look at that view, all the cars sitting there, raring to go. So Ivanov in the black and purple on the left again, Prentice on the right. Grace in 3rd, Jay Prentice 4th, Naisbitt in the Sky McLaren alongside Milnix as we await the green flag for race 2, round 2.
The pit is now open.
And we are green, we are good to go, and there's a great start from Prentice, who looks to have got better this time around. Going round the outside, they'll have the racing line, but Ivanov's got the inside line. Looks a lot cleaner. Further back into the field we go. No major incidents this time around. Prentice a little wide. And they all seem to have got through okay, but we're back up front now as we watch Jay Prentice up the inside of Grace. And I've lost track of who is where exactly, because the driver tracker's jumping around as I try and have a look. The two identical liveried Ferraris fighting each other. That's just behind Chris Knight. As we've sorted ourselves out at the front now. Ivanov's out in front. Prentice second. The car gone wide. That is Grace again under pressure now from Naisbitt. Naisbitt's on the inside of a tricky corner. And he's run wide over the curb. Is he going to be safe rejoining? He is. A little bit of a gap back to Van der Wal. Luckily we've got another car off as well. Car 71, I think. We'll come back and have a look at that. Yep, that's 71. That's Van der Wal's in. And hopefully not in the wall this time around. Don't want to say that 2 weeks in a row. It looks like he's able to keep going. So Ivanov's out in front. Prentice, two Prentice brothers, second and third on the podium. Could be a first. Brothers on the podium. Unless Grace has anything to say about that, he's got a fantastic exit. Coming out of the final corner. You see the view that Grace has on the back. That Ferrari is just not fast enough compared to that Lamborghini. He's not able to make it work. We've got cars yet at the back. A big accident at the back there. That's Wazzer, Van der Wal and Volton involved in an accident. Van der Wal's in the pits. Maybe he did hit the wall. And we've got somebody else in the pits, Clayton as well. It's not a good start for those guys. Got a bit of action going on here for around about 10th place. Cuters, Iliev, Miluka, De Vita, all battering so close for position. Look at this. It's so tight in this midfield. The pace is incredible this season. There's Mornveg and there's contact. Who is that? That is Chaos coming through lap 2. Somebody hit the back of De Vita. That's Mornveg hit the back of the rear of De Vita, causing an accident in lap 2. Got another accident up ahead. Rogers off track, as is car number 7. That's Danilo. Danilo joining the race, having a contact with Rogers. We'll see if that one goes any further as well. But as we continue, and Grace so close to the back of Prentice. Ivanov in first place. Couple of tenths back is El Prentice. Jay Prentice in third. Grace currently in fourth. And look at the pressure Grace is applying as they come through there. Milnix has got himself in front of Naisbitt after Naisbitt's little excursion over the sausage curb at the back of the track. Very easy to do so, of course. Easy to find yourself over there, but Grace is really applying that pressure. So some action going on back here. Cuters, Iliev, Harvey, Miluka, little bit of a train forming there. Action to be had, of course. The cars, I will admit, do look fantastic with the headlights on. This is a tricky section. It's so easy to find himself a little bit further off the track. Harvey's on the back of Iliev, and Miluka is just waiting for a chance to pounce. Harvey takes a lot of that corner, very careful on exit. That car looked to be bouncing very hard off the ground. That suspension doing a great job on that Ferrari, it has to be said. So as we start the third lap, there's no change at the front as they begin to settle into a better pace. A lot cleaner this time around, it must be said. He missed the accident at the final corner. Rogers in the pits as well. Harvey's done a great job so far. A lot cleaner for everyone all round. One person who'll be glad about that is Chris Knight, who is desperate to show he has the consistency as well as the pace to be in this tier. He's currently running in 7th, so there's no doubt about his pace. Keeping up with Dan Naisbitt, who of course finished with a double second place last time around. We've got a battle for the front up there top. Prentice all over the back of Ivanov now. As they came through the corkscrew there, it was very close looking. This is the battle for the lead. Ivanov will be desperate to make sure he's able to convert one of these pole positions into a win. He's got Prentice over the back. Prentice goes to the inside. Trey closes the door. Nothing doing this time. Slams it shut even. And Prentice is up the inside. It's so close for the two of them. Prentice is going to maybe nudge just a little bit ahead. Ivanov still has the inside line. Prentice drives round the outside and there's contact. Ivanov's off. Prentice and Ivanov make contact side by side. It's taken Ivanov off track and he's going to have to rejoin safely again. There's a big chunk of drivers coming through now. He's going to end up himself at the back of the grid. Oh, you'll be so disappointed with that. And he has to wait for all the drivers to come through. He's got a small gap now. We can make it out. He does so. That's disappointing for Ivanov. Wasn't too much in that either. May end up with the stewards though, as there was contact and change for the lead, but that's meant that we now have L and J Prentice 1 and 2, the brothers leading the pack, the FRL Pro tier. And I will make this out, if you are looking to get involved, both of these guys use controllers. You do not need to spend thousands of pounds on equipment to take part. These guys use controllers as Grace is all over the back of Jay Prentice now into turn 1. Lambo versus Ferrari, Italy versus Italy. Grace on the gravel as he came into the corner. He's going to get a better exit though. He's got good drive out of that corner. Danilo's off track again at the corkscrew. Not the best start for Danilo, late to race 1. Off track twice in race 2. El Prentice currently out in front, 1 second gap to his brother in behind. Grace in third, looking to capitalise, and Malnix takes the fastest lap. Malnix joining this battle now, and he's interested in making amends for his start to the season. They've got a slow moving car. This car 12, Cuters had an incident, it looks like. Has lost a couple of positions. Clayton takes fastest lap of the race so far. We are not even 1/4 of the way into this race, and we have had so much action going on. Car 51 is off at the corkscrew. That's Knight. Knight's off. Knight's had a spin at the corkscrew, and he'll need to be careful rejoining. This is going to see him fall down the field. Careful on that rejoin, Knight. You've got a car coming through there on the inside. You'll need to let that one go, unfortunately, and that is car number... the black Ferrari. That's as far as I'm going to give you, I think, in this darkness. He's came out in front of car 44. It's a purple Lambo. That's Ivanov. Ivanov down the inside of the final turn. We'll see if Knight can recover. We know he's got the pace, and even if he does manage to finish 17th, I think he's demonstrated his pace to deserve a spot on this pro tier. As Prentice and Malnick's getting out of shape. Sorry, Prentice and Grace both out of shape on the exit of that corner. I'm not saying they're out of shape in general, just that corner. And Naisbitt's been dragged along nicely by this lot. He is in 5th, but he's not lost touch. So we'll see if that McLaren can keep going. Harvey's got himself ahead of this gap as well. Harvey's shown good pace. So we've now got Harvey, Miluka, Iliev and Dybrel and Townsend. Townsend, what a cracking start for them, down from 20th up to 10th. And that's it. Iliev's lost the rear. Iliev's lost the rear, and that's going to be multiple positions, reverse on track at your own peril. Careful on that rejoin in the car there. Whoever that was, done a fantastic job. 442 Mornvig done well to avoid any potential accident there. That was great driving from Mornvig. So to rejoin the guys up top, Prentice now settled into a pace. Luke Prentice in first place, fastest lap, 1.1 ahead of Jay Prentice in second. The brothers running 1 and 2 around Laguna Seca Raceway. Morgan Grace, Michael Mullins and Dan Naisbitt, 3rd, 4th and 5th. A good showing for Turn 1 Sim Racing, 3rd, 4th and 5th. G. Harvey runs in 6th so far, just cleared the little pack of cars and stretching his legs now. 9.7 behind Naisbitt. Damage maybe already done, but 6th place would be a great recovery compared to race 1. Miluka again looking very solid, very consistent. Great job in Bathurst last time out, great job in race 1, and looking like the real deal, deserving of his pro tier status. And a bumpy around there from them Brave, and that's allowed Townsend and Couters through. Couters on the grass, Couters on the gravel, on the braking, as is Mornvig. That's going to put this one, this is going to be Rapid Knights off again at the corkscrew. But that is Couters keeping position ahead of them Braves. So them Braves lost a couple of places there, and this midfield battle is looking like a right humdinger. As the legendary JR would say, it's a slobber knocker. So we've now had 13 minutes of driving. For some reason we have a pit window of 51 minutes. I'll let Naisbitt explain that one later on. El Prentice in that orange, white and black Porsche, running in P1 with Jay Prentice in behind. The brothers 1 and 2. Morgan Grace giving them absolute hell in 3rd. Malnick's in 4th. Drop back a bit from this slot and into the clutches of that Sky McLaren, and Malnick's will be having flashbacks from last time out at Bathurst with his mirrors full of that white, pink and purple Sky car, the 242 livery of FRL's very own Dan Naisbitt, applying the pressure. But Harvey's down in 6th, Miluka 7th, Dybrel 8th, Townsend 9th, Couters 10th. Then Brave keeping touch with Couters in 11th, Mornvig 12th, Wazzer 13th, De Vita very close to the back of Wazzer in 14th, Iliev 15th, Ivanov, who's had a disappointing start to the FRL Super Sunday season in 16th. Don't know how much of it was their fault. Again, we could see that one progress to the steward's room as we watch De Vita getting out of shape. Very tricky corner, that one. Easy to understeer wide. This one as well. Easy to hit that curb as he's just done. We've seen the danger as he's hit the curb, lost the rear. Can he keep it out of the wall? He does. He has no damage. De Vita does brilliantly to keep that out of the wall. We've also got car 20. No, we've got another car there. 442. Monveg's had an issue. Monveg over the grass, over the gravel, over the sausage curb, and nearly murdering a car on his way past as well. So Monveg and De Vita having some bad laps there, as Grace still not letting Jay Prentice out of his sight. I would love to see the fight between Luke Prentice and Morgan Grace. Jay Prentice doing a fine job. Not that I'm sure he wants to win as well, but doing a great job separating the pace of Grace to his brother. But let's not play down what a fantastic job Jack Prentice and the 678 green machine, the mint green baby Lamborghini is doing. He's doing a fantastic job of keeping Grace in position and doing a great job for himself. P2 in the pro tier, of course. Such a fantastic job, no small achievement. So this pack of cars here looks like there's a lot of action going on. There's Townsend defending hard from Cooters. He gets a little bit out of shape through the corkscrew, and that's going to maybe open the door. Keeps the inside line, and that's going to allow him to keep position. But look at them Brave. They're taking the racing line. Thinks about it down the outside. Nothing doing this time around. And now he's under pressure from Wazard. There's almost contact as Wazard as well to keep under control as then Brave came over to the racing line under braking. That one might be taken a little bit further as well. Jay Clayton's taking the fastest lap of the race still. So he's got pace back there in 16th, but these four guys are putting in a show for us. 242, Dan Naisbitt's made a mistake on the exit of a corner, I'm being told. And Malnix has pulled away, and Naisbitt's very close to the gravel there as well, but Malnix has now pulled at a small gap there from Naisbitt, a couple of seconds, 3 seconds to be precise. 2.941. And Naisbitt's getting a bit out of shape. He needs to get his head in the game, get himself composed, and drive like we all know he can. He's very quick on his day. Only person anywhere near Adam Lang at Bathurst. Look at the speed that McLaren takes in, and he is, someone's lit a fire underneath him. He is ready to go. As we rejoin this battle for 9th. Looking backwards from the back of Townsend's car. He just needs to keep it straight. Look, make your apexes. Make it hard for the car behind. If they're going to go, make it hard for them. He needs to just make sure he hits every apex, every braking point. Don't need to push it. Just be consistent. Hit the apex there. See, he can't get past. Take the inside line, that's it, and hit the apex. If you hit the apex, he will not get past you. And he's got a good exit though, coming into turn 3. Nothing doing this time around, and Grace is all over the back of Jay Prentice into the corkscrew. We'll rejoin. Oh, we've left at the wrong point. We've had a huge crash. Cooters has lost it, as has Den Brave, and nearly a big crash there as well. Waters now went up position. Townsend is still in 9th with, that's a push. That's Iliev. Iliev's up into 10th. So it's Cooters and Den Brave, and Wazer had a bit of an accident. We'll see what happens when the driver tracker updates. We left at the wrong point, but we don't know who to watch. There's just so much going on just now as Grace again thinks about it down the outside into turn 1. And Jay Prentice keeps the position this time around. And Grace is really turning the screw Jay Walls are now all over the back of them Brave. What's happened to Townsend? Townsend now in 11th. And he thinks about it down the outside as well. Eliev not making it this time around, thinks better off it into turn 1, thinks about diving up the inside, sticking his nose there, knows not to do so. So Jay Prentice and Grace have had a contact. We keep moving away from the action zones at the wrong time because we've now got Dan Naisbitt somehow on the back of Grace. Grace is down to 4th. Malnick's up into the podium positions and we've missed it. We keep jumping to and from the wrong drivers, and that's something I'll need to learn as a race director. But what action we've had. So we still have the Prentice brothers 1st and 2nd, and now it's Malnick's turn to go for 3rd, but we are watching these two fight in California.
Keep it up.
And what action we've had so far. So Grace, I think, may have made a move onto Prentice. It's not worked out, and that's put him back into 4th place and freed Malnick. So we'll see what pace Malnick now has, if he's able to drag that Ferrari a little bit closer to the back of the brother pairing. Jay Waters now up into P9. We're going to stick with these guys because they have shown great potential here, both Grace and Naisbitt. We'll keep an eye on the gaps between the two Prentice brothers and Malnick as well, and we'll see anything can happen there. Malnick, of course, very quick on this day. Car number 12 looking very slow on the start finish straight. Maybe in the pit lane or exiting the pit lane. Just in front of us just now. And he comes out separating Malnick and Prentice. Looks like Grace may have the slight pace advantage over Naisbitt, at least at this point in the race. As Grace is off! Grace is in the wall, and that's Grace's chances of a race win gone as Grace ports back to the pit lane. That might be him out for the race. Naisbitt up into P4. Harvey now closed the gap down to 7 seconds, so that one's not over yet either. Harvey's had, of course, a great race. He was 10 seconds behind Naisbitt earlier on. So that's now 6 or 7 seconds. He is gaining. We'll keep a small eye on that as well, as I think Ivanov's just been lapped. So Prentice is out there a little bit on his own just now. As we see Grace's name in the left tumbling down, he'll be so disappointed with that, like a really bad sequel to his favourite movie. You can't help but feel for him because it looked like he maybe just got up on the inside of that curb just there. Sorry, this one here, you'll see it on the inside now, the big curb. That one there, he's probably just hit that and ended up in the wall. As they've got a car off in front of Prentice as well. That's the 160 of Volten. Volten off track. It's 777 off as well. Iliev's off, just leaving the corkscrew. And now under pressure. Is that Clayton in behind in the 500? Clayton down the inside, taking advantage of the mistake from Iliev. Clayton up into P12. Good from them. Dan Naismith, I think they look close on the driver tracker, but I think we're just lapping some cars now, being about some damage. Those two looking very close. That's two Ferraris battling out just behind. Malnex. Two cars getting lapped there. That's Volton and Kuter's for position. Look how close they are. There's slight contact as they come down into turn one. Volton's got the racing line. Kuter's at the inside. The inside does look to be the way to defend through there, but now these two are fighting and they've got Naismith coming up behind as well. So we'll see, and we've got another car behind Naismith too. I think that's a 44 car, 44 of Ivanov, who, it will be said, has the pace to actually unlap himself. No slow coach, of course, Ivanov. Into the corkscrew now. The purple car just in front. Is that Rogers? No. So Kuter's under pressure, huge pressure from Volton. And they come across the braking zone. Need to be very careful. If you're going to do that, make sure the car behind knows you're there. I don't think they did that time around. These two look like they were similar liveries, similar pace. A little bit wide there on the exit. Naismith flashing lights. Needs to make sure that Ferrari knows that he's coming up behind him. Naismith flashing again. Desperate to get past, and as he should be. The car is lapped. He needs to be getting out of the way. It looks like Kuter is trying to unlap himself on the car in front. I'm not quite sure who that is. That's Malnex. Malnex in third place. Car number 69. That's Dybel off track in the exit of turn one. They'll fall down the order. Naismith's now being held up by these two squabbling Ferraris. So just having a little look at the order. Luke Prentice out in first place, holds a 5-second gap to his brother Jay Prentice. Jay Prentice doing his best to keep up and being involved in the wars with Grace down in 21st and retired. But Jay Prentice doing a cracking job this evening as well. Malnex 5 seconds behind them in third, looking to resume. And look at that there, finally Naismith is let through by Volta. Next one up the road, of course, is Kuter's. We'll see if they're more willing to allow themselves to be lapped. Naismith's in fourth. G. Harvey, great job for them, up into fifth. Meluka, solid as ever, really showing their talent in sixth. Been very impressed with their driving. Jay Wazzer, cracking start from them as well. Up into seventh. Dembray running eighth. Monveg ninth. Townsend again doing a great job up in 10th. Clayton 11th. Iliev 12th. And Dybel I think must be in the pit lane as they fall down the order on the driver tracker. As we're watching Kuter's, who has been battling with Volta, is now in the pits. Very likely that's it for them as well. Then Brave still out there. So who have we got fighting on track just now? Dybel's still in the pits. I wonder if that's them done for this evening. Daniel Naismith in the Sky Ferrari, still behind. Sorry, the Sky McLaren, still behind the Ferrari, my apologies. And the Ferrari, it doesn't look slow. And what has to be said, it doesn't look like it's particularly slow at this point in the race. Car number 69, that's Diabrel, has got themselves a 30-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane as their race falls away from them, down in 14th just now. That will put them further back in the order. And I know it looks like there's a huge gap. As you see now, their car's getting out of the way. As nearly collects Naisbitt. What's he doing? The car number 66. Naisbitt gets out of the way through the corkscrew. Car number 66, Stoyanov, finds himself get out of the way, and that's the purple liveried car, Ivanov, getting through as well. Car number 44, Ivanov's off again. Ivanov's in the wall. Is that it for Ivanov? Yep, that looks like Ivanov has thrown in the towel for this evening. Hopefully rejoins the track. Of course, championship points given out even if you are down the order, unless you finish the race. If you do not take the checkered flag, you will not receive championship points. And that might matter at the end of the season. Those 12 points you'd have got for finishing 17th or whatever, I don't know the exact point system. We've got a car going in the pit lane now. That's car number 69. Diabrel going to serve their drive-through penalty as we are watching Luke Prentice putting a masterclass here in California. This isn't some normal drive down the California highway looking at the beach. This is a masterful display of hand-eye coordination. What this man does with that joypad is honestly witchcraft. And he's shown it can be done. He's shown that you can pick up a pad, practice, and lead a sim racing league race here on Assetto course, a Competizione. A lot of cars in the pit lane there. So how many cars do we have? 4 cars in the pits. 3 of them retired, potentially. Cuters is rejoined, that's good to see. And Prentice has looked, he's looked good, he's looked progressively improving as his Formula Racing League career has gone on. And he's just slowly moved himself up through the ranks. A bit of a reputation for pit stop races, for going long in races and running long in his first stint. But generally a clean racer, no issues with their driving, and just now he's put it all together, the consistency, the pace, and now the racecraft, and find himself up into first, leading his brother currently by 6 seconds, and Jay Prentice in that green machine, the Mint Baby Lamborghini, is putting in a fantastic performance as well. Let's not play that down. He's not playing the brother role. He is doing out this for himself, and he has got himself from 4th place up into 2nd, and still running there fairly consistently and driving very well too. Molnix has had a mixed bag. He's had the pace, but couple of incidents at Bathurst, of course. Very easy to find yourself staring at a wall around Mount Panorama, but Molnix has shown that he is as quick as his qualifying and practice times have shown. He's got it together here at California WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, and he is running in 3rd, looking to bring home his first podium of the season. I'm sure there will be more for the American racer. It comes into the corkscrew. The corkscrew, of course, a little bit of a legendary corner. Just look at the elevation change. As we've seen, it does catch a few people out. Naisbitt's only 3 seconds behind now, so maybe Naismith sniffs a podium, potentially. Clayton, all over the back of Monvig. Monvig got the inside line here. This is looking very close. This is for position. For 9th place. This is the battle for 9th. Townsend just keeping touch at the back there as well. Clayton still holds the fastest lap of the race. So he's no challenge. Oh, he's a little bit out of shape on the brakes into the corkscrew. And you can see why it's called the corkscrew, of course. It's just like a helix through that section. Oh, look at he's pushing. He is pushing. He has got that car on the ragged edge. Clayton is applying the pressure to Mornvig. Late on in the race, 5 minutes to go. We've got a car off track. Car 66 is off track. That's Stoyanov, and that's allowed. It's not for position. As Jay Wazzer got through incident 3, it looks like. This is the closest battle we have on track just now, and it is the battle for 9th and 10th. Clayton in the 500 Ferrari. This is Ferrari versus McLaren. We've seen this one before in the past. And it's been followed on. He's going defensive. Monrick feels the need to go defensive into this corner. This is not a corner you want to take that tight line. He's held the apex and Clayton's had to get out of it. Now they come into the corkscrew. This could all end in tears. What's going to happen as they come through? And Clayton's thought about the exit, gets the better exit into this section, this long left-hander downhill. He's not able to make anything happen this time around. Into the final corner, hard on the brakes, and look at the difference in the braking that Clayton has. I think Clayton may have been in the pits actually, earlier on. Gets the slipstream, but this is such a short straight, you don't really pick up the full effect you would be wanting from a slipstream. But look how close they get there. And Morvig's a little bit out of shape, has the inside line, hits the curb and nearly careers into the side of Clayton. Fair play to Morvig for keeping that one in. Under his control, he loses it now. Commentator's curse. Not affecting him too badly. Iliev lapping. I think that's Devita in the 21. Oh, they've run in for position. Need to get them through a timing point so we can see, but he's lost it. Iliev's lost the rear over the sausage curve, and that's Devita goes through. Don't think that one was for position anyway. So Cuters is only 1 second behind Rogers, who's ran it wide, going up the hill towards the back section off the track. I mean, this is one of those tracks that I would call it an error generator. It causes a lot of errors for these drivers. It's so hard to run around here consistently, to hit every braking point, every apex, because it's just so bumpy. There's a lot of off-camber corners where the track leans away from the inside. It just causes the back end of the cars to step out, generates understeer. It's one of those tracks that you can never really master. But Cuters and Rogers are just being approached by that very familiar looking Sky McLaren. 11, the 242 cars. Rogers goes deep into turn 1. Nothing doing this time around, but look at the exit speed, and Rogers has lost the rear and nearly collects Dan Naismith as well. Rogers is in the wall, we just missed that. He's reversing on track, needs to be careful. Doesn't take anyone out as the cars come through. He's lost it again. He's taken a little while to recover that one, Rogers, and he was running well as well. As the number 32 car goes through, that's Jay Wazzer. A minute left to go, and we've had so much action, I have lost track of time. But it doesn't look like there's going to be any further position changes, at least not unless anyone makes any mistakes. It's a long time to be driving as well without making those mistakes. Mornveg's holding on to 10th. Townsend with a great drive as well, as the leader Luke Prentice starts his final lap of the race, and it's looking like the second double win of the season so far. Hopefully I've not cursed him this time around. And let's look a bit of screen time, because he has raced expertly. He is out there at front all on his own. He had to fight to get there, he had to battle his way past. But we are watching a great drive here in the California desert at night time. And that very familiar sight of the orange, black and white Porsche of the 43 car of Luke Prentice coming through the corkscrew for the last time. If you see the onboard view from the passenger seat, the back end sliding beautifully round the third to last corner. Luke Prentice comes over into the final corner now. Across the curb, up through the gears, and takes the win for race 2 here at Laguna Seca Formula Racing League Super Sprint Sunday. Great drive from them, and they're coming home in second for the, I believe, is the first brother podium we've had. First and second for the Prentice brothers. Molnick's great performance in third. Naisbitt through there in fourth, and Harvey, great recovery, great showing in race 2 to take 5th place. Meluka, who has been absolutely solid since the start of the season, flashing his lights in celebration, comes home in 6th place and the only BMW in the field. Jay Wazzer, great drive from further back in 7th. Den Brave coming round the final corner now, going to finish in 8th place. Celebration by weaving on the track. Van der Waal, Cuters, Rogers, Dialbrell all taking the checkered flag as well, 15th to 18th. Clayton with the fastest lap of the race comes across the line to take 9th. Stoyanov is confirmed 13th. Mornveg finishes in 10th. Townsend, great drive from them to finish 11th. And Iliev, the last across the line in P12. Wow. I'm going to need a second just to catch my breath with that one, and I'm glad I've been joined by tonight's double race winner Luke Prentice in that Porsche with a cracking drive.
Hello, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the kind words there. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and 100% deserved. This evening we've watched you pretty much, I don't want to say unopposed, because I missed what happened in race 1. It looked like a potential incident for the car in front. Was that something you were involved with, or did this happen in front of you?
When we say involved with, I think it was turn 4 of the second right-hander where he's hit the curb on the inside and it spun him. I mostly avoided. I kind of glanced him on the way past, but I was kind of involved in it in the aftermath of it. But
yeah.
It had his accident before I got there, if that makes sense. So
of course,
luckily managed to not get too much damage and then just keep the thing on the island, and stay clear in the lead.
Yeah, of course. Race 2, you guys did come together. It looked like we did catch it on the stream, but it looked as if it was not a lot to it. Yeah,
I think it was one of those. It was I've been working on him for about 2.5 laps. I think the pressure kind of told into the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. I think it's turn 1 or turn 2, whichever one it is.
Yep.
And I'd got the slingshot to him to get both ahead of him going into the braking zone and on the outside, which I know isn't perfect, but means I had some sort of control over where he was on the exit, and I kept the thing straight. I think he's just slid up into me and contact has happened. I don't think there's anything in it at all, really. It's just unfortunate. I feel sorry for him in terms of that he spun, but again, I'm not sure how much more I could have done to have avoided that. Same as in the first race, right at the start on the exit of the hairpin with the Ferrari. It goes, kind of on the outside. There isn't a hell of a lot I can really do to avoid that. Although with this one, I was a bit further ahead, so we'll see. I might be in the steward's room for that. I might not be. We should just see.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't throwing any accusation around at all.
No,
I
know.
hear your words on what happened. One thing I need to point out is I don't know if this has happened before, but we've got two brothers on first and second, 1-2.
The nice little record, nice little memento. Jack's pace has been better than we thought it would be tonight, and I think it was a bit unfortunate in the first race. There was a little bit of contact which kind of messed his race up, but second race he was mega. He's done quite well in that car and track combination, which might be a bit difficult. He's done really well to hang it in there and keep it on the island and keep it in second. He came under a bit of pressure. He dealt with that pressure and he had a pretty carefree race for the last quarter of an hour.
Yep, but I think we just caught. Well, what I had a habit of doing was jumping just away from the action just as it happened. So I just missed it. What happened with the battle for second? But it looked as if you guys had it under control. Is that something we can maybe expect to see next time out, or are we looking at a bit more of a challenge?
I think there'll absolutely be more of a challenge. In terms of being under control, I think if I'm in the lead, I know it takes a lot to fluster me and to get me a little bit worked up. Whereas I don't know if that was the case particularly for Mr. Ivanov second race. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it takes a lot for me to get flustered. So if I'm at the sharp and pointy end again, then I think we're going to be quite happy and quite controlled. It takes a lot for me to crack under pressure, and Jack's very much the same as well. So if we're both at the pointy end next week, then we'll be fine. We're much more likely to stay there than not.
Brilliant. Great to hear. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll catch you again next week at Misano. Hello? He's gone.
Hello.
You still there?
No, I'm here.
He's there, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll let you go. I won't take up any more of your time. It's getting near my bedtime as
much.
well. Yeah, we'll see you out next time at Misano. We'll see if you can repeat your performance. Double win today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Here's hoping, but it'll be difficult. Take it easy, mate.
Take care. Bye. So, thank you again for watching us here at Formula Racing League TV. We are just... I'm going to have a quick look at the highlights just as we bow out for this evening. So, thank you very much for joining us. We've had a great week, 2 races here. At Laguna Seca. We can see the result on screen behind us as well. So we've had Luke and Jack Prentice first and second, 1-2. This is Mullins in third. I've got his name wrong there again. Mullins in third, taking the final podium spot. Naisbitt in fourth, Harvey in fifth. Luca sixth, Wazzer seventh. Then Brave 8th, Clayton 9th, Morveg 10th. Townsend 11th, Iliev 12th, Stoyanov 13th, Devita 14th, Van der Waal 15th, Kuter 16th, Rogers 17th, Dybrell in 18th, Ivanov in 19th, Volton 20th, Grayson 21st, Knight 22nd, and Danilo, who appeared for race 2, in 23rd. And we see what happened in Naismith there on the first lap in the background. So, as we mentioned in the final conversation with our race winner tonight, next Sunday from 7:45 GMT, we will be at Misano in Italy, one of the lesser known tracks in the country, famous for racing, famous for its sports cars. Then we travel off to the Far East in Suzuka before we come back to, again, the lesser known track in Great Britain, Snetterton. That'll be an interesting one to watch. Then we go back to stateside, where we go to the East Coast this time. We go to Watkins Glen, one of my favourite tracks, and then back over the Atlantic to Alton Park, which is basically like a rally track. Then we go to the Dutch seaside town of Zandvoort before we finish up at Indianapolis on December 14th. That's wrong, that's a Thursday, 13th, 12th, 9th of December for the race, for the season finale. Until then, of course, like I said earlier on in the top of the show, if you want to take part, have a look at www.thesimgrid.com and follow Formula Racing League. You can filter your events by whatever console or game you wish to look at. Filter it by the PS5 and you'll see Formula Racing League as one of the search results. Give them a follow and get on their Discord. You can get all the information required to take part. This is every Sunday night. Qualifying starts at 8 PM. Formula Racing League also hosts Taco Tuesday, their famous Taco Tuesday, which is now also in its 11th season. And we will be coming back to Laguna Seca for round 2 of that. And we'll also on Thursday nights have the mighty Ginetta single make race. All Ginetta cars, very close racing. And that happens on a Thursday night at 10:30 PM GMT. So until next time, my name's Gordon, the Captain Brown, and I will see you at Misano next Sunday, 8 o'clock. Until then, take care. Good night.